saw what happened last offseason, obviously what happened at the trade deadline. Do you kind of have a sense that you're going to be able to finish your contract out here? Did you bring that up in the exit interview that, what's your immediate plans for me? Because, an expendable contract is always attractive.
No, haven't spoke to them about it yet. It's hard when, you just finished the season, especially the way we lost last night, to discuss those type of things. Obviously they have a lot of stuff to evaluate and figure out what they want to do moving forward. And so I assume that's something we'll talk more about as it gets closer to summer, draft and all that.
On a personal level, what are you most proud of this season from your play?
Just the consistency I was able to have this year. I think especially after last season, I had a dip in my efficiency, which throughout my career I've been usually pretty good at, and I wanted to really get that right and play better on that end. And so I'm glad I was able to do that. Glad I was able to fit in the new system and fit in with the new guys and, play at a high level. And the way we played and competed up until the end, it's unfortunate, again, the way we lost. But I'm proud of this team and proud of these guys of, what they achieved, everything we went through. Exceeding a lot of expectations that people had. And, I'm really disappointed that we came up short because we really had a strong stretch at the end. And, I thought we had, a chance to get through, but that's part of it. But, just happy that I was able to have a good season, be consistent again, played at a high level. But it was important for me to just kind of put last season, behind when the shooting slump and everything and get back to a high level.
Vuč, as the last remaining member of that trio that was kind of initially assembled, where's kind of your trust level, faith level in this next step forward that the front office is taking? Do you feel frustrated by kind of where it's at? Just what are your feelings about the trajectory of where this team goes in the next year or two?
I think there's this last couple of weeks, I think, have shown that there are some positives within this team, some good pieces, some good young pieces that can be built around. And then obviously now, depending on what pick we get, what they decide to do, there's obviously a lot of questions when you're a team that's not fighting for the top. You're trying to get there. But I have trust in them, and I believe they want to do what's best for this team and build a good team that wants to win. So yeah, we'll see. Again, it's hard to really know what the plan is, what's ahead, what they're thinking of doing. But it's definitely something I'm going to talk to them about. Obviously, I'm at a stage in my career where I'm trying to win now, and play in playoffs and hopefully deep playoff runs and things like that. So we'll see. But I believe that there are pieces here that we can build upon. It is a young team; it does take time, but it all depends on what their timeline is and how they see this team.
Vuč, I was going to ask something along the similar lines. You said you haven't talked to AK yet about what their plans are for you, but do you want to be part of this team going forward? As AK said, is it a team in transition?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, if it's a team, if it's, the plan is to try to improve and to get better year by year, then yeah, sure. I mean, of course, I enjoy playing with these guys, like I've said all year long. I think we have a really good group of guys. Guys are, that are trying to do the right thing, trying to win, trying to get there. And it's a process. When you're a young team, trades happen, a lot of things happen this season, and it doesn't just happen overnight. So yeah, to me, if the plan is to continue to improve, get better, and try to achieve more next season, then yeah, of course, I'd like to be here. But so that's something I'll have to obviously discuss with them, and we'll see what they decide.
Yeah, Vuč, I'm curious about the style of play that you all transitioned to this season. Just what are your general thoughts on how effective it was? Obviously, it won you all some games, kept you competitive. How transferable do you feel like it is into postseason style of play, and just your overall thoughts on what it did for this team this season and moving forward, what you guys can do with that style of play?
Well, I think it definitely helped us throughout this season. I think for us to have a chance to be a good team, we had to play that way. We knew we weren't at our best in half court, and that unfortunately showed last night. So I think it is something that we can sustain, but at the same time, we will have to get better. When the game does slow down, like it does in postseason. When teams really start scouting you, when teams have time to really focus on what you do, they're going to start trying to take away stuff like that from you. And so, again, it's a young team. It's a process. A lot of these guys have not played in many, postseason games or have experienced that. And so you have to go through it. And I think, last night was a good example of it, but it's part of it. It's part of growth. So I think that there are a lot of positives from playing in this style. I think there were a lot of games that we did win because we imposed our style on other teams. And I think a lot of it came also from us, improving defensively as well, which last night we weren't good on that end, and then we were able to run, and so that hurt us. But I think a lot of positives. You continue to build on it. I think most importantly was that guys really bought into it. I think as the year went on, we were more disciplined with it. The turnovers got a little better. That's a big emphasis also, which when you play fast, at times you can get carried away. That's part of it. But if we can control some of those stuff, I think there's still a lot of room of improvement to play at that pace, but also trying to figure out also when it's not possible to play at that pace, how to still be efficient offensively and find ways to play against teams that are going to try to slow us down.
You seemed toward the end of that game especially or unusually agitated. Did you think the game yesterday was a one-off exception or exposing fatal flaws in the roster and the way your team plays?
I think it was probably a mix of both. I definitely think we didn't play at our best, that's for sure. But there were definitely things that Miami did that took us out of our best and took stuff that we like to do that we're good at away from us. So I think the first issue was, we give up 71 points in the first half. It's tough to win, in any game, especially in a postseason game like that. And them scoring so much, didn't allow us to run or play fast at all. And so, they came, they imposed their will. They played the way they wanted to play. We never really found a way out in the third quarter a little bit. I think it was a mix of both for sure. I think, like I said, we did play pretty well, the style we wanted to play, but it's not there yet. There's still a lot of room for improvement, and that showed. And so, a lot of times you have to go through those meaningful games to see where you're at exactly and what it is you can do better. And so, that happened to us, unfortunately, last night.
Yeah, Vuč, since you're such an insightful guy, I wanted to get your thoughts on two of your teammates, Kobe and Josh. Just obviously incredible seasons individually that they've had. Where did you see the most growth in Kobe, and what did you learn about Josh becoming a teammate of his?
Yeah, for Kobe, obviously been around him for a couple of years. He's been through up and downs. He played some at times a lot. At times he didn't play. At times he was starting. At times he was off the bench. And one thing I really respect about him, no matter what was going on, he always worked, always stayed locked in. And when he got his real opportunity, he showed what he can do. And I think for this season, what I really saw huge growth in with Kobe was not so much just the play itself, but the mental aspect of the game, his approach, the way he was studying the game with the player development guys and the video guys every day, and the assistant coaches, watching film, watching how they might defend him, how he can attack. Things of that nature that are very important. So I know he did that after every shoot around. The work he put in every day, but then also the how he grew as a leader, the way he spoke, to the team. At times before when he was younger, he'd get all riled up when something wasn't going right, and then he learned to really channel that energy into a more positive way, and find ways to get to the team in a more positive way, which helped, and guys resonated with that better. I think also controlling his emotion throughout the game, if things weren't going his way or not, how to read the game, how to adapt to different coverages, especially after Zach got traded. He became the main focus of defenses, and he did a really good job taking his time, not forcing things, and I know that's sometimes that's the difference, you know, if you can make that step or not, because we all know he has the skill set and he can score and he can do different things. But I thought that was a big thing that that made him make that jump. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. So very proud of how he's achieved. Obviously, Player of the Month had a hell of a month for us, which was a huge part of why we were playing at a high level. And so I think it's great for him to have had this year. And, you know, he can build on it now. As for Josh, obviously knew him from playing against OKC in the past, but a big competitor. Really enjoys playing. I think he was great for the way we wanted to play. I think him and I built a really good chemistry on the court. But yeah, I thought, you know, as the season went on, he started playing better and better. You know, some of the games he had with the big numbers and the triple doubles and everything was very impressive. But just what I really saw was a guy that really enjoys competing. You know, a lot of doubts. People had a lot of doubts about him and what he can do and cannot do. And I think he really came in here, wanted to prove people, you know, wrong, and you know that he can play at a high level and he can perform, and he did that this year. You know, it was huge for us. Guy I really enjoyed playing with. I think the same. You know, I think for the other guys, he fit in really well, and it was a huge part of what we did. All done. Appreciate you guys.